The Book of Amos, one of the 12 minor prophets in the Old Testament, delivers a powerful message of justice, judgment, and true worship. Written by Amos, a shepherd and fig tree farmer from Judah, this prophecy is directed primarily at the northern kingdom of Israel during a time of peace and prosperity, around the 8th century BCE, though corruption and injustice were rampant. Judgment on the nations. Amos begins by pronouncing judgment on surrounding nations: Damascus, Gaza, Tyre, Edom, Ammon, Moab. He then turns to Judah and Israel, with Israel receiving the harshest condemnation for social injustice, immorality, and religious hypocrisy. Condemnation of Israel's sins. Amos highlights Israel's privileged status as God's chosen people, and their greater responsibility. He denounces oppression of the poor, corrupt courts, empty religious rituals, arrogant wealth and complacency. Famous line, "Let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream." Amos 5 verse 24. Visions of judgment. Amos recounts 5 visions symbolizing Israel's downfall, e.g., locusts, fire, a plumb line, a basket of ripe fruit. He has a confrontation with Amaziah, a priest at Bethel who tries to silence him. The book ends with a surprising note of hope, a promise of the restoration of David's fallen tent and future blessing for God's people. Themes. Social justice. God cares deeply about how people treat each other, especially the poor, marginalized, and vulnerable. Divine judgment. Israel's religious practices are meaningless without justice and righteousness. Amos warns that God's judgment is imminent. False security. Israel assumes prosperity and military strength mean God's favor, but Amos exposes this as a dangerous delusion. The day of the Lord. Unlike popular belief at the time, the day of the Lord will not bring victory for Israel but darkness and judgment. Hope and restoration. Despite the stern warnings, the book ends with a vision of renewal, where the people will return from exile and rebuild their nation under God's blessing. The Book of Amos is a bold prophetic critique of social injustice and religious hypocrisy. It challenges God's people to align their worship with their ethics and actions, calling for a society where justice and righteousness define both personal and national life. Amos reminds readers that true faith is not just about ritual. It's about living rightly before God and others.